Okay, this will be the shortest possible film I can make to make a quick review of rebuilding on this lot at 48 Warder Street. This is a plot plan I put together, and I'm showing the setbacks according to the city's information for this MR5 district. The front yard is just determined by what, really for you it's going to be determined by what existed. You could probably put your same foundation right where it is there. And the rear yard is 30 feet setback. And the side yards are 3 feet apiece. But we'll get back to that in 1 minute. And this is their county's sketch, their overlay sketch. And that seems to align with what you have there. When we add up the square footage in here, just so that we have a record of this, according to them, they have 812 on the first floor here and another 320 on the first floor here, for a total of 1132 square foot on the first floor. On the second floor they have all of this in here for 1036 on the second floor. So 2168 square feet on those two floors. But of course you do have that 1132 in the basement as well, because this was a basement here. So you did have 1132 in the basement as well as whatever was existing on the attic. And then they had roughly 350 square feet of open frame porches. And when I compare this to what happens here, it looks like their sketch is pretty accurate to what is existing out there. You can take your own measurements and see if it is 28 by 37, that main square. And the other thing you should do is, just so that we have it for the record, find the center line of this street with a partner or whatever, and then measure from that center line to the furthest projection of this building. And that'll be this concrete that was holding these columns up, whatever's left of those foundations there. And so a few other things, just so you have something to think about. You have a concrete piece back there about 15 feet, and this is just showing your lot with this 24 by 24 garage to try to pick up some of that storage that you're probably going to lose. But the fact of the matter is, you can build everything inside here and still not exceed any requirements. So that's a lot of square footage. You wouldn't have any yard left, but you can build that much in there. If you put this garage back there, they're going to want 10 feet between the garage and the house. I mean, they might allow you less than that, but you're going to have to use fire-rated construction on some of those walls. So presumably we leave that separated from the garage far enough. And right now this is what you have, this 15-foot pad back here, and then about 33 or 4 feet to the first part of the porch. And if we put a minimum depth garage 22 feet deep, and you can go again up 3 feet on each side of these property lines for this 22 by 30, about a 600 or 700 square foot garage. You can build up to 900 square feet, but I didn't show that. And the next thing I want to mention, if this property here is built right on the property line, you're going to at least have to move back to 5 feet so that you don't have to start building fire separation walls and special construction. So that would definitely, if that's the case, if that is right on the line, we're going to be 5 feet from that, so I pulled that back to 28 or 29. And you currently have 28, and probably at the end of the day would probably stick with 28. Simply because the wider we get, the heavier those floor members have to be, those joists. So if we did go the whole 29 feet wide though, that would give you, that's, everything, 1624 would give you 3,200 square feet, 3,248 on 2 floors. But some of that's going to be taken out by porches. If you had those big porches on both, you had 350 square foot of porches on your existing house. So maybe it's something like this. And if you do that, remember, before you had on the first floor, you had 1132. So something like this, where you have a 24 by 24 garage back here with the 5-foot setback, and this is just standard because it's going to be easy construction if it's less expensive construction if we have this standard size. But if you had that 24 by 24 garage back there, and then 20 feet, same amount of air space between here for a yard, and then built this here, you would end up with about another 150 square feet on the first floor, still maintaining these porches. This one's reduced though, as you see. It doesn't have that notch out in here anymore. And the second floor will go over all of that though. So you pick up a lot more room on the second floor. This and then the 1560 minus this, which leaves you with about 2536 plus the attic. And remember, the total of your place that is not there anymore was around 2168. So something like that, you could probably accomplish, a similar, at least a similar square footage. That's the first floor. All of this would be the second floor then, and that's the first floor with its porches at the front and the back. And I'm keeping all this really simple at this point. I don't know if we squeeze that another foot down, that's going to be, it's going to take off probably 50 square feet if we brought this back down to 28, which probably should be done. And I think that's it really. I just have a little 2-page PDF that I sent over with just the overlay and then this plot plan here without all of this bric-a-brac. So that's it. I just wanted to explain that. So you have something to work with going forward. Yeah, that's what I sent over now, just so that you would know. Inside here, even if you were to build out all that, you still probably, even if you were to build out all this and build the garage, you probably still wouldn't be exceeding their 65% limitation. But you wouldn't want to build this that close anyway. All right, that's it. Have a good night. Thank you.